Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. And today's puzzle, as you can see, has a rather interesting theme. It may even be unsuitable for those of you out there who are scared of spiders. It's called Spider and Fly, and you can see, it's absolutely beautiful, this. You know, to construct a spider so well out of thermometers, and the fly down here representing the Kropki dot is really, I'm lost in admiration for Lucy Audrin, who has made this puzzle. And this one's been recommended to me, by the way, by one of our top puzzle pickers. So I know we're in for a treat. And the top puzzle picker is not Mark. So we should be safe and sound in the knowledge that this puzzle is approachable. What should we talk about before we get on to solving it? Well, do check out our Killer Sudoku app. We've been so pleased with the reviews, and it really is. It's worth your time, I promise you. Some of the puzzles in it are just awesome. Also, there's loads of stuff going on our Patreon at the moment. So we've got the solution video for the Tracking the Cryptid Sudoku puzzle hunt. That video is 3 hours 20 minutes long. So it goes through all of the puzzles, explains how to solve all of them, how they all link together. And if you were struggling with how to do it, it's worth a watch. Also, of course, because it's the 2nd of January, so it's just into the new month, and Happy New Year to you all, we've got our monthly bonus puzzle released as well. And Mark, I think in his video later, is going to shout out some of the people who have correctly solved that already. And that's getting some nice comments as well. So it's definitely worth giving that a crack. And now, talking of cracking, let us get on to the rules of Lucy's puzzle. We have got simple rules today. We've got normal Sudoku rules apply. Along thermometers, digits must increase from the bulb end. So if you've never seen a thermo Sudoku before, very simple. You can see this little thermo here, for example. In the bulb end of this thermometer, we have to put the lowest digit that appears on the thermometer. So this square could be let's make it a 3. Now this cell, which is the next highest on the thermometer, just has to be higher than a 3. So we view the numbers a bit like Mercury, rising up the thermometer. So this doesn't have to be a 4, it can be a 6, for example. It just must be higher than 3. This square, therefore, has to be higher than 6. Let's make that 9. And that is how this thermometer could be filled, and that would be totally valid. Now, what else? The pair of cells marked with a black dot have a ratio of 1 to 2. So these two squares down here, if that was a 2, this could be a 4 or a 1. That's what that means, because they have to have a 1 to 2 ratio. And that's all there is. So do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And my eyes are drawn firstly to the rather large, unpleasant body of the spider here. Now that's a 9-cell thermometer, so we can fill it in. We've got to increase along the thermometer, so it must just increase all the way. Now, what do we do next? Now, I know what Mr. Goodliff would do next. He would zone in on these cells, and he would enter in every single possibility along all the thermometers. And I sometimes do that, but not. I try and not do it immediately. Let's just try and get a feel for the puzzle first. What's the puzzle? So I can see some interesting things about these boxes. Because one of the things about thermo Sudoku is you can never put a 1 or a 9 partially along a thermometer. In fact, this box is really quite interesting. Over and above that, we can see immediately none of these yellow squares can be a 1, because that would require us to put 0 into this cell. If we make any of these 1 or any of these 1, we're going to have to go into zeros here and negative numbers here. That's not going to work. So the 1 is definitely over this side. But the fact that there's a 1 already in box 5 of the Sudoku actually means, well, in fact, it's simpler than that. Where do 2 and 3 go in this box? We can't put 2 and 3 in these squares. Well, can we put them in those squares? And the answer is no, because if we put 2 here, we'd have to put 1, 0. That breaks for any number of reasons. If we even try and put 3 there, for example, well, what are we going to put into those 2 squares? We're going to have to go 2, 1, and we're going to break the puzzle over and over and over again. So these squares, in fact, are a 1, 2, 3 triple, and that's not a 1. And there must be a 2 and a 3 in these cells. I really like that. I really like that. One of the reasons I like it is that when Mark does this puzzle, I don't think he'll immediately hone in on that. He will back into it by using these thermometer bulbs, I think. I'm going to look this side as well. So it's not quite as good, but it's still good. We still can't put 1 partially along a thermometer, so we know that 1 must be over this side. Now where does 2 go? Well, 2 again can't go on the thermometer, because even if I try and put a 2 in one of these cells, I'll have to put a 1 in one of these bulbs. In fact exactly in this bulb, because this bulb sees all 3 of those squares on 3 different thermometers. So if I try and put a 2 in here, I have to put a 1 here. The 1 will clash. So there is definitely a 2 in one of these cells. Now, what do we do next? Is this useful somehow? And the answer is, what can we, hang on, what can we put in those squares? Yeah, okay, there is a hidden pair in row 7 here, because we can ask the question, well, it's pretty obvious none of these squares can be a 1, because again, they're partially along a thermometer. So the 1 in row 7 has got to be here or here. Now, what about the 2? Can we put a 2 in any of those squares? Well, no, we can't, because then we'll have to put a 1 in the bulb, and the 1 will clash. So the only places that 1 and 2 can go in row 7 are in the purple squares. These are a 1, 2 pair. This is not therefore a 3. And now, can we use that somehow? It feels like what Lucy would intend us to find, because the logic feels very beautiful. Unfortunately, I'm about to ruin that by not spotting what the next implication is. What does it mean if we get a 1, 2 pair here? See, I was thinking maybe we could lock the 3 somewhere, but I don't think we can, because the 3 could still go on any of these thermometers, because 2 is still available in the central box. Maybe I've got to think about the central box more. Well, 2 isn't restricted in the central box, but 8 is restricted. Because where does 8 go? You can't put 8 in any of the bulbs, I don't think. No, you can't, because if we try and put the 8 in either of these squares, well, obviously there then has to be 5 cells, 5 digits higher than 8 in box 6, or 5, or at least 5, no, another 5 digits higher than 8 in box 4. So 8 is not in those. 8's not here because this would have to be a 10. 8's not here because this would have to be a 10. And 8 isn't here because all 3 of those squares would have to be 9. And that most certainly is not allowed. So 8 is in one of those squares, which means 8 is in one of these squares. Eight's up there. Oh dear, 7 maybe. We can maybe get 7. 7 definitely can't be there. Again, there aren't 5 cells or 5 digits higher than 7. 7 can't go here, look, because this would be 8, 9, and the 8 would clash. 7 can't go here because, again, there aren't 3 digits that we can put into these squares that are all different, that are higher than 7. 7 can't go here because the same logic is here. 7... No! 7 can go here because it can go 8, 9. Oh, that's a shame. So 7's got 3 positions in the central box. Oh, this is not going very well now. I feel I've really butchered this. I've got this lovely 1-2 pair and I don't know how to use it. Okay, we're going to have to look somewhere else. I'm going to be reduced to doing what Mark does, aren't I? I'm going to be reduced. He's going to be laughing at me now. I think I'm going to have to do it. This square can't be that high. Sorry, yeah, no, it can't be high because these squares can't be 7 or 8. Right, yeah, this is interesting. This square can't... So if we try and make this square a 5, what do those 3 squares have to be? Well, they have to be higher than 5. There's a knowledge bomb. That's just... They have to obey the rules of the thermo. And they have to not be 7 and 8. Well, there are only 2 digits available then, which are 6 and 9. And that's going to make... Well, we can't then fill those in without repeating a digit, and we most certainly can't find any higher digits. So this is not 5, and I think 4 breaks for a very similar reason. 5, 6 and 9 are the only cells we could use into these squares, and every one of these has a thermometer cell that's higher. So we would have to put 10 into one of those, which doesn't work. So 4 and 5 are not possible. So let's put 2 and 3 in. Oh, 2 and 3 in. Now 3, can I don't know why the cursor keeps disappearing. Now 3, if this was 3, we could do 4, 5, well, we'd have to do 4, 5 and 6. Oh, that's interesting. That actually frees, that's actually okay, isn't it? Because 4, 5 and 6 here mean we've got plenty of leeway into these 3 squares. Because not only... Yeah, this could still be 9, or it could even be 4 or 5. If this was... Well, no, if this is 4, this could be 5. Right, that's no use at all. This definitely can be 3. But it is restricted. So let's look at the same thing on this side. I think these ones are definitely the most restricted because you've got to cater for the fact they need 5 digits in the same box. Yeah, so actually that's... Oh, no, hang on. There's a beautiful way of looking at this. I am so silly sometimes. Once this is a 1, 2, 3 triple, the simple question to ask is where does 4 go in the box? Well, you can never put 4 at the end of the thermometer, because if you do, you've got to put a 1, 2 or a 3 below it, and you can't. So 4 goes into one of those squares, and that means this square must be lower than wherever the 4 goes, so it has to be lower than 4. So this square is a 2 or a 3, and there is a lovely 2-3 pair in box 5 and row 5, which Mark will have found very quickly, and I found more slowly but more beautifully. So I win. Now, this square is a 1 now. Look, there's a 2-3 pair. That square's a 1. That square's a 2, because we need to put a 2 into one of those, and it can't be here anymore. So that means this square is a 3, this square is a 2, and we are suddenly going a bit. 3 now must be in one of those 2 squares. And yeah, that's good. 3 can't go here, because this square can't be a 1 or a 2. And in fact, this square can't be a 1. So this is not 3, this is 3, which settles it. If this is 3, this must be lower than 3. So that's 2, that's 3. And 3 in the top box here, look, must be in one of those cells. 1. Oh, sorry, I'm getting stuck again. Oh, there's an interesting little bit of logic here. Whatever's in this purple square has to team up with this square or this square and go in here, look. Because, here's a knowledge bomb, 7 and 8 are not the same digit as 1 or 2. So given that I'm going to have to put whatever goes in this square, well, in this line, it's going to have to go in that square. which is useful perhaps. Well, 3 now. Because of the disposition of 3's, 3 has got to be in one of those cells. And 1 maybe? No, 1 can't go there. So 1's in one of 3 positions in box 3. That's not helpful. 3. Oh! Yes! Now I can use my row 7. Now I can use row 7. Let us return to row 7 because suddenly I have noticed these cells are restricted now. Why are these cells restricted? Well, because I can't put 1, 2 and 3 in the bulb. So these squares, you couldn't have a digit along here that's as low as 3 or 4, because if there's a 4 in any of those squares, you have to put a 3, 1, 2 or 1 in the bulb. So the question we need to ask now is, where do 3 and 4 go in row 7? This is lovely. Where do 3 and 4 go in row 7? Well, the answer is the 3 will have to go there, because the 1 and the 2 are already in these positions. The 4 will have to go here. The 4, yes. Where does the 4 go in box 3? With these 4's operating, we can't put 4 there, because if we put 4 there, we've got to put 3.5 there. That doesn't work. 4 here means the 4 goes there. The 4 can't go here because we can't put 3 there because of that 3, so the 4 goes there. This 3 means that's a 3 by Sudoku. This square is an amazing square because we can write it in. What is this square? It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not 5, 6. And it's not 7, 8. So it is 9. Which is quite a surprising thing to learn. Now 9 can't be partially along a thermometer, so 9 is in one of these 2 squares, sort of these spider 4 legs here. 9 can't be partially along a thermometer, so 9's in one of those 2 squares. Oh, this 4 is nice for the 1. Oh, this is huge. This is going to get us this 1 too. Because where does 1 now go in box 3? Well, it can't go here. It can't go at the end of a thermometer. So it must be in one of those 2 cells. And if it's in one of those 2 squares, it's most certainly not there. So that's a 2. Which means this is a 2 by our earlier logic. Which means what? That's a 1. These squares are now 1, 7 and 8. 1 must be here. 7, 8 must be here. 5, 6, 9 into those cells. 1, 5, whoa, 1. Yes, where does 1 go in this box? It can't go on the end of the thermometer. It must go here. This is a 5, 6 pair. If this is a 5, 6 pair, this square must be a bit restricted. It can't be, right, it's got to be higher than 2, but it can't be 3, and it can't be as high as 6. So it's got to be 4 or 5. Not quite good enough. What now? Oh, 5, 6, 9. Look, yeah, there's a 5, 6, 9 triple in row 3. So these squares have got to be 1, 3 and 7 to complete the row. Well, that square, therefore, is a naked single. It can't be 1 or 3, so that square's a 7. This is a 1, 3 pair. And these squares are 2, 8 and 9 to complete this box. And there's a 2, 9 here. So this square is an 8. These squares are 2 and 9. 8 must be in one of those 3 cells now by Sudoku. This 7 means that's not 7 anymore. Oh, that's absolutely lovely. Look, this 7, ruling out 7 from that cell, means these 2 squares are now 7 and 8, which means 7's in one of these 3 squares, but it can never be on a Kropki dot. because we can't make this square 14 and we can't make it 3.5. So that's not 7. These 3 squares now are 4, 5 and 6 to complete this box. So this isn't 4. That's not, actually we can tidy up further. There's 4 here, 5 here, 6 here. So these squares here have got to be 7, 8 and 9 to complete the row. Which, well, this is partially along a thermometer, so it can't be a 9. Oh, it's beautiful, beautiful. Now, let's look. This square is a 7 or an 8. This square has to be higher than 7, therefore. So it has to be 8 or 9, and that creates a triple in the box. And a triple in the column. Oh, that's interesting. Look, we've got a 7, 8, 9 triple in column 8, so that square can't be 9 anymore. So 9, 9. There must be a 9 in one of these 2 cells. That aligns with the 9s in box 7. So now we know that the 9 in row 7 of the grid, look, can't be here and it can't be here. So it must be in one of those 3, which actually is incredibly simple the moment we think about it in the context of this row, because these elbows here could never have contained 9s. But we had to do it the slow way. Or I had to do it the slow way. Let's be clear. Now, if we've got 7, 8, 9 here, these squares have got to be 4, 5 and 6 in some order. And that can't be 4, obviously. Now this, for the same reason, can't be 6, because I can't make this higher than 6. This square also can't be 6, because it needs to move up to that square. So we've now got a 4, 5 pair, which means this is 6, this is 5, this is 4, this is 5, this is 5, this is 6, this is 5, and all of a sudden it's going better. 5, 9 here, so this square's a 6, this square's a 9. These squares to complete the column are 5, 7 and 8. And we need a 7 or an 8 into this square by Sudoku, look. Oh, nearly. 6, 7, 8 to complete column 1. So we haven't quite got a triple there. It's close. Now, this square is restricted. This has to be higher than 4, but can't be 5, 7 or 8, and it can't be 9. Doesn't that just have to be 6? Or am I going crazy? I think that has to be 6. I'm just going to double check that. I'm slightly surprised by it. No, it just has to be 6. There is no other option for this square. That fixes those 2 squares as a 7, 8 pair, gives me a 6 there. That makes this square 7, 8 or 9, which gives us a triple here, so makes this one a 4. Now we need 1 and 9 to complete column 3. This is a 4, 5 pair. Wow, okay. Now, has that cracked the puzzle open? The answer is maybe. But I don't know that it has. So what do we need now? We need 5, 7, 8 and... Oh, good grief, that square's a naked single. Look at this row. We need 5, 7, 8 and 9 to finish the row. Well, this square can't be 7, 8 and can't be 5. So that is a 9. Which gives us a 9 here, look. Gives us a 2 here. 2's over there. Oh, now the Kropki dot might be. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. Look at the fly now. The fly, which has sort of been resistant till this point. Now, what can be on it? Well, it can't be a 1-2 pair anymore because the 2's over there. It can't be a 2-4 pair. The 2's still over there. It can't be a 4-8 pair because the 8's over there. So it must be a 3-6 pair, and there's a 6 at the top. So this is 6, this is 3, which means this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. And we've got a 2, 3 pair there. That's a 3, that's a 2. 2 is not here anymore. 2 is not here anymore because it's got to be higher than 4. So 2 is exactly there. Now, what else can we do with this? Probably a bit more. That's 3, that's 1. I still need to put 1 in this box. It's got to go there. Yeah, here we go. I think we're on the home stretch now. This must be 9, not 0. So in this row now, let's just check what we need. We need 5, 7 and 8. So this can only be 7. That's the only digit that's available. Which means these two squares are 5 and 8. You can see therefore that's got to be 5, that's got to be 8, that's got to be 7. This has got to be 9 because it's got to be higher than 8, and there we go. I think that's it. I don't want to speak too soon, but it does look good now. That should be 9, that should be 7. 8 and 7 go in at the top. Down here, look, that square should be a 6. This is a 5, 7 pair. What's tidying up? Let's check the rest of this box then. Oh, we need to put 8 in the box. 8's got to go into this square. That's going to be nice. 8, 7, 7, 5, 5, 4, 4 here. Click check. Yes. What a lovely puzzle. Absolutely brilliant. I hope you guys enjoyed it, even a scintilla as much as I did. That is a really, really lovely thermo Sudoku. I love the picture. I love the fact you can apparently make the picture into a very, very good thermo Sudoku. I mean, how Lucy worked that out, I have no clue. And I like the fact that there were these 1, 2, 3s and 1s, 2s sitting in these peripheral squares. I really liked how they impacted row 7, and I was really cross that Mark's method was necessary to find that 2, 3 pair at the start. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments. I do read them, and we'll be back later, of course, with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.